Welcome to Traveler's Tales. I am your host, Greg Alonso. Today I will be your guide through history as we take a look at the fabled ancient Olympic Games, Part 3. Before we begin, just a quick reminder that we post new videos every Tuesday and Friday. Don't forget to hit the little bell icon to be notified each time we post new videos. Moving right along. Mythology tells us one thing, while archaeology tells us another. We have been taking a look at the ancient Greek Olympics. Today we will look at the origin myths behind the ancient Olympic Games. To the ancient Greeks, it was important to root the games in mythology. During the time of the ancient games, their origins were attributed to the gods, and competing legends persisted as to who actually was responsible for the genesis of the games. Let's begin with the Greek historian Pausanias. He provides a story about the dactyl Heracles, not to be confused with the Heracles who was the son of Zeus. Dactyls, or dactyloi, were the archaic mythical race of male beings who were ancient smiths and healing magicians. They were associated with the Great Mother, who was known as both Cybele and Rhea. Heracles and his four brothers, Pausanias, Epidamnes, Aesius, who raced to Olympia to entertain the newborn Zeus. The victor would be crowned with an olive wreath, which became a symbol for peace. This also explains the 4-year interval between each of the Olympics. The other Olympian gods would also engage in wrestling, jumping, and running contests. Another myth of the origin of the games is the story of Pelops, a local Olympian hero. Onimus, the king of Pisa, had a daughter, Hippodamia, and according to the oracle, the king would be killed by her husband. Therefore, he decreed that any young man who wanted to marry his daughter was required to drive away with her in his chariot. The king would follow in another chariot and spear the suitor if he caught up with them. Now the king's horses and chariot were a present from the god Poseidon, and therefore supernaturally fast. The king's daughter fell in love with a man by the name of Pelops. Before the race, however, Pelops persuaded the king's charioteer, Myrtilus, to replace the bronze axle pins on the king's chariot with wax pins. Naturally, during the race, the pins melted, the king fell from his chariot, and to his death. After his victory, Pelops organized chariot races as a thanksgiving to the gods and as funeral games in the honor of the king, in order to be purified of his death. It was from this funeral race held at Olympia that the beginnings of the Olympic Games were inspired. Pelops became a great king, a local hero, and he gave his name to the Peloponnese. A later myth attributed to the Greek lyric poet Pindar states that the festival at Olympia involved Heracles, the son of Zeus. According to Pindar, Heracles established an athletic festival to honor his father Zeus after he had completed his 12 labors. The patterns that emerge from these myths are that the Greeks believed that the games had their roots in religion. They clearly believed that athletic competition was tied to the worship of the gods. Lastly, the revival of the ancient games was intended to bring peace, harmony, and to return to the origins of Greek life. Though not included in the original ancient Olympic Games, the marathon race has its roots in the legend of Philippides, the Greek messenger. Legend states that while he was taking part in the Battle of Marathon, he witnessed a Persian vessel changing its course towards Athens, as the battle was near a victorious end for the Greek army. He interpreted this as an attempt by the defeated Persians to rush into the Greek capital and claim a false victory in the Battle of Marathon and claim their authority over the lands of the Greeks. Tradition tells us that he ran the entire distance without stopping, discarding his weapons and even his clothes to lose as much weight as possible. Upon his arrival to Athens, he burst into the assembly exclaiming, "Nenaiki kekaman," which means "we have won," before collapsing and dying. The account of the run from the Marathon to Athens first appears on Plutarch's writings on the glory of Athens, which he quotes from Heratocles Ponticus' lost work. This brings us to the end of Part 3 of the fabled ancient Olympic Games. Thank you for once again joining us for this edition of Traveler's Tales. Just as a reminder, we post new videos every Tuesday and Friday. Don't forget to hit the little bell icon to be notified each time we post new videos. For your convenience, we have also posted our email address and Instagram information. We enjoy hearing from our subscribers. Don't hesitate to contact us with any questions or comments you may have. If you haven't already subscribed to Traveler's Tales, please do. This really is the best way to help our channel grow. Traveler's Tales will return with Part 4 of the Fabled Ancient Olympic Games. Until we meet again at the crossroads of folklore and fact, Kartistos.